It's okay, sweetie. Don't worry, we're gonna help you find your parents.
Do you want some juice?
A single dad helped a lost girl find her mother. He never expected the mom to be a billionaire. Welcome to True Soul Narratives, where every story carries a heartbeat. Love, betrayal, kindness, forgiveness, and the courage to start again. Before we start, comment below and let us know where you are watching from. Enjoy the story. I can't find my mommy. She told me to wait, but I got scared. The words came from a little girl standing alone in the middle of Riverside Park on a chaotic Saturday afternoon. 6 years old, maybe. Her face was streaked with tears, her small body shaking with sobs that came from somewhere deep and terrified. She clutched a stuffed unicorn to her chest, the kind that cost more than most people's weekly groceries. Her clothes screamed money, designer jacket with tags still visible. Shoes that had never seen a scuff mark, hair in perfect braids with silk ribbons. But none of that mattered because she was lost. And people just kept walking past her. Hundreds of them. Families heading to the spring festival, joggers with headphones in, couples holding hands. They saw her crying and they looked away. Too busy, too uncomfortable, too afraid of getting involved. The little girl stood there invisible in a crowd of people, her voice getting smaller with each sob. That's when Ryan Foster heard her. He was 32, wearing a faded flannel shirt and work boots still dusty from his construction job that morning. His hands were calloused, his jeans worn at the knees. He was at the park with his 7-year-old son, Ben, their weekly Saturday tradition. Just them, like it had been for 3 years since his wife died. Ryan heard that little girl's cry and something in his chest tightened. He knew that sound, pure terror, the kind kids make when they think they've lost everything. "Hey, sweetie, are you lost?" He crouched down to her level, his voice gentle. Ben stood beside him, immediately sensing something was wrong. The little girl looked up at Ryan with eyes so big and frightened that it physically hurt to see. She nodded, unable to speak through her tears. "Can you tell me your name?" "Lily," she whispered. Her voice was so small, so scared. "Hi, Lily, I'm Ryan, and this is my son, Ben. We're going to help you find, your mom, okay?" Ben, sweet kid that he was, immediately pulled out his juice box and offered it to her. "Here, my dad says juice makes everything a little better." Lily took it with trembling hands, and for the first time, her crying quieted just a little. Ryan studied her. Everything about this child said privilege. The kind of kid who'd never known hunger or cold or fear. Until now she knew fear intimately. He could see it in every shaking breath she took. "When did you last see your mommy?" Lily's bottom lip quivered. "She was here. Right here by this bench. She got a phone call and told me to wait. She said 5 minutes. But then people started walking and I couldn't see her anymore, and I got scared. So I walked to find her, but now I don't know where I am." "How long ago was that?" Lily looked at her watch, an actual designer watch on a 6-year-old's wrist. "I don't know. Maybe an hour?" "An hour." Ryan's jaw tightened. What kind of mother leaves a 6-year-old alone in a crowded park for an hour? His protective instincts flared. The same ones that had kept Ben safe for 3 years. The same ones that made him work double shifts so his son could have birthday parties and new shoes and a childhood that didn't revolve around loss. "Okay, Lily, we're going to find her. I promise." Ryan pulled out his phone and dialed park security. The line rang and rang before a harried voice answered. "We're aware there's a lost child. We have 17 calls about the festival. Someone will be there when they can. How long? Could be 30 minutes, could be an hour." "We're understaffed today." Ryan hung up and tried the police non-emergency line. Same story. Overwhelmed. 30-minute wait minimum for non-urgent calls. He looked down at Lily, who was watching him with those huge, terrified eyes. She'd heard every word. "Oh, and please don't leave me with strangers," Lily whispered. Her small hand reached out and grabbed Ryan's. Her grip was tight, desperate. "You're nice. You feel safe." Ryan's heart cracked. This little girl, with her expensive clothes and her designer unicorn, was holding his hand like it was the only thing keeping her from drowning. He thought of Ben at that age, right after his mother died. The way Ben had clung to him, terrified of being left alone. The decision was immediate. We'll help you find your mom ourselves. Lily's face showed the first hint of hope. Really? Really? Ryan squeezed her hand gently. Ben, excited now, bounced on his toes. We're like detectives, Dad, just like in those movies. Exactly like that, buddy. Before we continue with Lily's story, if tales of everyday heroes touch your heart, subscribe to True Soul Narratives. We share stories about real people doing extraordinary things. Now let's find Lily's mother. Ryan stood up, still holding Lily's hand. Ben took her other hand without being asked. The three of them stood there in the middle of that crowded park, an unlikely team, a construction worker widower, his 7-year-old son, and a little girl who was clearly from a completely different world. Where were you and your mom before she got the phone call? Ryan asked. Lily pointed toward the far end of the park, by the fountain, the big one with the angel. That was half a mile away, through festival crowds and chaos, but Ryan didn't hesitate. Okay, let's start there. Lily, I need you to stay right between Ben and me. Hold our hands tight. Don't let go. Understand? She nodded, her grip tightening on his hand. They started walking. Ryan kept his eyes moving, scanning every face, every woman who might be frantically searching for a child. His phone was in his other hand, ready to call police the second anything felt wrong. Because as much as his heart broke for this scared little girl, his mind was racing with questions. What kind of mother left her child alone in a park? And more importantly, where was she now? Have you ever found a lost child? What would you do in Ryan's position? Drop your answer in the comments below. They walked through the massive park, three hands linked together. Ryan led them through the festival crowds, past face painters and balloon artists, past families laughing and children running. Lily stayed quiet at first, her eyes scanning every face, looking for the one that mattered. As they walked, she started to open up. Small pieces at first. Mommy works all the time, she said softly. Today was supposed to be our special day. Just us. No phone calls, no meetings. She promised. Ryan felt his jaw tighten. He didn't say anything, just kept walking, kept searching. But inside, his frustration was building. He knew what it was like to sacrifice for your kid. He worked construction 10 hours a day, came home exhausted, but he was there. Every school play, every bedtime story, every Saturday at the park. Being there wasn't optional. It was everything. What kind of work does your mom do? Ben asked, his 7-year-old curiosity innocent and genuine. She runs a big company. I don't really understand it. Something with computers and money? Lily looked down at her shoes. She's really important. People always need to talk to her. Ryan's frustration grew. Important. Everyone thought they were so important. Too important to put their phone down. Too important to keep a promise to a 6-year-old. We were sitting by the fountain, Lily continued, her voice getting smaller. Mommy got a phone call. Her face went all worried. She told me to wait right there on the bench. She said 5 minutes. She said she'd be right back. But she walked away and all these people came and I couldn't see her anymore. They reached the fountain, the angel fountain with water cascading from stone wings, the bench where Lily had waited. It was empty now, just another spot in a crowded park. Ryan looked around, his eyes scanning for any woman who looked like she was searching desperately for a child. Nothing. Ben squeezed Lily's hand. It's okay. We'll find her. My dad finds everything. One time I lost my favorite toy car, and he looked for 3 whole days until he found it. Lily managed a small smile. Really? Really? My mom died when I was little too, Ben said matter-of-factly. The way kids do when they've processed something adults still struggle with. But Dad's the best. He never leaves me. Not ever. Ryan's throat tightened. His son, his beautiful, resilient son who'd lost his mother at 4 years old and somehow still believed the world was good. Your mom died? Lily looked up at Ryan with new understanding in her eyes. Yeah, Ryan said softly. Car accident 3 years ago. It was just us after that. Me and Ben. He crouched down to both kids' level. I had to work a lot to keep us going. Construction jobs, sometimes 2 at a time. But I made sure I was there for bedtime, for breakfast, for the important stuff. Sometimes being there is more important than being rich, he said gently, looking at Lily. Your mom, she probably works hard to give you nice things, but what kids really need is time. Lily's eyes welled up with tears. Mommy tries. She really does. She just has a lot of responsibility. People depend on her. Ryan saw it then. This little girl defending her mother, protecting her, already learning to make excuses for absence. An hour passed, then another. They searched every corner of that massive park, asked security guards, showed Lily's picture to anyone who would stop. Ryan's phone stayed in his hand, ready to call police if they didn't find answers soon. He kept glancing at Lily, at her designer jacket and her expensive shoes. This kid came from serious money, the kind of money that built walls between people. The kind that made you think you were above regular problems like watching your own child. Finally, they found a security guard with access to the cameras. Can you show us footage from about 2 hours ago? By the Angel Fountain? The guard pulled it up on a tablet. Grainy footage showed the fountain area. Then there, a woman in a sharp business suit, phone pressed to her ear. Lily leaned in to look. That's Mommy! They watched. The woman, Lily's mother, paced back and forth on the phone. Her free hand gestured frantically. She looked stressed, angry. Then she walked away from the fountain, still on the phone, heading toward the park exit. She never looked back, never came back. Ryan felt his anger surge white hot. She left. She just walked away and left a 6-year-old sitting alone. His hands clenched into fists. How could anyone do that? How could a mother just walk away from her child? Lily saw his face, saw the anger he tried to hide. Her bottom lip trembled. She's not a bad mommy, Lily whispered. She's just sad. What do you mean, sweetie? Lily's tears spilled over. Mommy lost Daddy too, 2 years ago. He got sick and the doctors couldn't help. She works so much because she's sad. When she's working, she doesn't have to think about Daddy being gone. The words hit Ryan like a physical blow. All his anger drained away in an instant. He knew that grief, knew that desperate need to keep moving, keep working, keep doing anything to avoid the crushing weight of loss. He'd lived it. For months after his wife died, he'd worked himself to exhaustion because exhaustion meant he could sleep without dreaming, without remembering. Oh, Lily, Ryan pulled her into a hug. This little girl carrying so much understanding that no 6-year-old should have to carry. Sometimes grown-ups don't know how to handle losing someone, he said softly. Sometimes we make mistakes when we're sad. It doesn't mean we don't love you. It means we're human. Do you think she forgot about me? Lily's voice was so small, so broken. Ryan pulled back, looked her straight in the eyes. His voice was firm, absolute. No, I promise you, she didn't forget. She's probably terrified right now. She's probably searching everywhere, calling everyone, losing her mind with fear, because that's what parents do when they can't find their kids. We panic. Really? Really? Ryan stood up, determination flooding through him. And we're going to find her. Right now, come on. They headed toward the park exit, toward where the footage showed Lily's mother walking. Ryan's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number sent to him through the Park security system. A mother had reported her daughter missing. Victoria Chen. Contact police immediately if found. Ryan's blood ran cold. He knew that name. Everyone knew that name. Victoria Chen, the billionaire CEO who'd taken over her late husband's tech empire and turned it into something even bigger. The woman on magazine covers, the one the business world called ruthless and brilliant in the same breath. Lily's mother wasn't just rich. She was one of the most powerful women in the country. And right now, somewhere in this city, she was losing her mind because her daughter was gone. Ryan looked down at the stuffed unicorn still clutched in Lily's arms. For the first time, he noticed the small tag stitched into its mane. He gently turned it over. Property of Lily Chen. If lost, please call. There was a phone number. Chen. Ryan pulled out his phone and typed the name into Google. His thumb hovered over the search button for just a second before he pressed it. The results loaded. His blood ran cold. Victoria Chen, billionaire CEO. Tech mogul Victoria Chen battles hostile takeover. Widow of investor James Chen builds empire alone. Her face stared back at him from a dozen article thumbnails. Stunning, powerful, cold. The kind of woman who graced the covers of Forbes and Fortune. The kind whose net worth had more zeros than Ryan could process. He scrolled through the articles with shaking hands. Hostile takeover attempt happening today. Emergency board meeting. Billions of dollars at stake. Her late husband's company under threat. Everything he'd built, everything she'd fought to preserve, about to be ripped away by corporate vultures. And in the middle of all that, she'd brought her daughter to the park for their special day. Ryan's mind reeled. His working-class instincts screamed at him. Rich people, they were all the same. Too focused on money and power to care about what really mattered. Too important to watch their own kids. Too busy building empires to build relationships. But then he looked down at Lily, 6 years old, holding his hand, trusting him completely. Defending her mother with every breath. This wasn't about rich versus poor. This was about a scared little girl who loved her mom. Ben tugged his sleeve. Dad, what's wrong? You look weird. Ryan forced a smile. Nothing, buddy. Let's keep looking. But everything had changed. He wasn't just helping a lost kid anymore. He was involved with one of the most powerful families in the country, and that terrified him. The park's closing announcement crackled over the loudspeakers. Riverside Park will be closing in 15 minutes. Please make your way to the exits. 15 minutes. They'd been searching for over 2 hours. Still no sign of Victoria Chen. Ryan made the call. This time, when he reached the police and said the name Victoria Chen, everything changed. The dispatcher's voice sharpened. Stay exactly where you are. Officers are en route. 5 minutes later, a detective arrived with 2 uniformed officers. Ryan recognized the look on the detective's face. This wasn't about a lost child anymore. This was about protecting a billionaire's daughter. About liability and lawsuits and making sure everything was handled by the book. Mr. Foster, Detective Martinez, thank you for staying with the child. We'll take it from here. He reached for Lily's hand. Lily screamed. The sound was raw, primal. She threw herself at Ryan, wrapping her arms around his waist, holding on with desperate strength. No, I want to stay with Ryan and Ben. Don't make me go with strangers. Ryan's heart shattered. He knelt down, gently trying to pry her arms loose, even though every instinct told him to hold on tight. Sweetie, you need to go with the officers. They'll help you find your mom. Lily's face was streaked with tears, her eyes wild with panic. Will you come with me? Please. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Ryan looked up at Detective Martinez. The detective's expression softened. He had kids too. Anyone could see that. He nodded. You can accompany her to the station. Until we locate the mother, the police station was cold and fluorescent, and nothing like the warm park they'd left behind. They sat in a family waiting room, painted a cheerful yellow that felt wrong for the situation. Lily sat between Ryan and Ben on a worn couch, still holding both their hands. Ben pulled out the sandwiches Ryan had packed for their park day. Peanut butter and jelly, slightly squashed. Here, my dad makes the best sandwiches. You should eat something. Lily took one with trembling hands. She ate slowly, mechanically. When she finished, she looked at Ryan with eyes that had seen too much for 6 years. You're the nicest family I've ever met. The words hit Ryan like a punch. This child. This little girl with her designer clothes and her billionaire mother and her penthouse apartment somewhere in the city. She was starving. Not for food, for this, for connection. For someone to just sit with her and share a sandwich and make her feel like she mattered more than a phone call. Ryan pulled her close. Your mom loves you, Lily. I know she does. How do you know? Because I'm a parent, and there's nothing in this world, not money, not work, not anything, that matters more than your kid. The doors burst open. Victoria Chen rushed in like a force of nature. She was everything the photos had shown, and nothing like them at the same time. Stunning, yes. Powerful, yes. But her face was ravaged. Tears streamed down her cheeks, her makeup smeared and running. Her designer suit was disheveled, the jacket missing, the blouse wrinkled. One of her heels was broken, and she limped as she ran. Oh my God, baby. Lily's head snapped up. Mommy, the little girl launched herself across the room. Victoria dropped to her knees and caught her daughter, pulling her into her arms with a desperation that was painful to witness. She buried her face in Lily's hair, her whole body shaking with sobs that came from somewhere deep and broken. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh God, baby, I'm so sorry." They collapsed together on the floor, mother and daughter, holding each other like they'd never let go. Victoria's hands ran over Lily's face, her arms, her hair, checking for injuries, for proof that she was real and safe and whole. "I turned around and you were gone," Victoria gasped between sobs. "I looked everywhere. I called everyone. I thought I'd lost you. I thought someone had taken you. I got scared, Mommy. There were so many people. I know, baby. I'm so sorry. I never should have left you. Not for a second. Not for anything." Ryan stood quietly, Ben pressed against his side. They were witnesses to something private, something raw. He started to back toward the door to give them space. But Victoria's eyes found his. She looked up at him, still kneeling on the floor with her daughter in her arms. Her eyes were red, her face vulnerable in a way that no magazine cover had ever captured. "You found her." It wasn't a question. It was a statement heavy with meaning, with gratitude, with something else Ryan couldn't quite name. "She's a brave kid," Ryan said quietly. "She did everything right." Victoria stood slowly, Lily still clinging to her. She walked toward Ryan, and he saw her take in every detail. His work boots, his flannel shirt, his calloused hands, the way Ben pressed protectively against his father's side. "How can I ever repay you?" The question hung in the air, and Ryan knew what she expected, what people like her always expected. A number, a favor, something that could be bought or traded. His voice came out colder than he intended. "You can't buy this. Just be there for your kid." The tension in that police station waiting room was thick enough to cut. Victoria held Lily like she'd never let go, her hands shaking as she stroked her daughter's hair. The detective cleared his throat, trying to ease the moment. "Ms. Chen, we need to get some information for our report." Victoria nodded, but her eyes stayed on Ryan. Through her tears, the story spilled out. "I got an emergency call. A hostile takeover was happening. My late husband's company, everything he built, was being ripped apart by vultures. I had 5 minutes to make a decision that would affect thousands of employees, their families, their futures." Her voice cracked. "I told Lily to wait 5 minutes. I walked 20 feet away to get better reception. When I turned back, she was gone. The crowd had shifted and I couldn't see her. I've been searching for 3 hours," Victoria continued, her hands trembling. "I called police. I called security. I had my entire staff searching. I've been running through this park in the surrounding streets, screaming her name until my voice gave out." Ryan saw it then, really saw it. She wasn't a negligent mother. She was drowning in grief, in responsibility, in the impossible weight of trying to be everything to everyone. Detective Martinez spoke up. "Mr. Foster here refused to leave her side. He stayed with Lily for over 2 hours, searched the entire park, kept her safe and calm." Victoria's eyes met Ryan's. "You found her. You stayed with her." "Anyone would have," Ryan said, but his voice had lost some of its edge. "No," Victoria said firmly. "They wouldn't. Dozens of people walked past my daughter crying. You stopped. You cared." She stepped toward him, trying to compose herself, to find the professional mask she wore in boardrooms. "How can I ever repay you? I can write you a check, set up a trust fund, whatever you need." Ryan's jaw tightened. "You can't buy this. Just be there for your kid." The words landed like a slap. Victoria's face flushed. But before she could respond, Lily spoke up from her mother's arms. "Mommy, Ryan and Ben are my heroes. They gave me food and made me laugh. They held my hand and told me you'd come back. They never left me even when I was scared." The fight went out of Ryan. He looked at this little girl, so desperate for her mother to understand, and something in his chest loosened. Victoria's composure shattered completely. "You're right," she whispered to Ryan. "I can't buy this. She looked down at her daughter, fresh tears streaming. I've been so focused on saving the company James built, on preserving his legacy, that I almost lost what matters most. I almost lost you, baby. To Ryan, her voice raw with honesty, you have something I don't. You know how to be present. You know how to choose what matters. Ryan's voice softened. I learned the hard way. When my wife died, I realized time is all we have. Not money, not success, just time. And we never know how much of it we get. Victoria's vulnerability was complete now. No CEO mask, no billionaire armor, just a grieving widow and overwhelmed mother. I don't know how to do this. Balance everything. Be enough for everyone. Nobody does, Ryan said. We just try. We fail sometimes, but we keep trying. Victoria took a shaky breath. Could I get your number? Not for money, not to repay you, for advice parent to parent. Ryan was surprised. He'd expected her to thank him and disappear back into her world of penthouses and boardrooms. But there was something genuine in her eyes, something desperate and real. Yeah, okay. 3 months later, everything had changed. Victoria and Ryan met every Saturday at Riverside Park. Same spot, same time. Their kids had become inseparable. Ben and Lily ran ahead, laughing, while Ryan taught them how to fly kites. Victoria brought picnic blankets and store-bought sandwiches that she'd picked out herself, no personal chef involved. She'd hired a co-CEO to share the load, cut her hours, started saying no to after-hours calls. The business world had been shocked. Victoria Chen, the woman who never stopped working, was choosing balance. Ryan noticed the changes, saw how she smiled more, how she actually sat still and watched Lily play instead of checking her phone every 30 seconds. How she asked him questions about parenting and actually listened to the answers. They talked, really talked, about loss and grief and the impossible task of moving forward when everything inside you wanted to stay frozen in the past. Victoria told him about James, about building an empire while drowning in sorrow. Ryan told her about his wife, about working himself to exhaustion to avoid feeling anything at all. A slow burn connection developed. Neither pushed it, neither named it, but it was there in the way he made sure she got the good spot on the picnic blanket, in the way she remembered Ben's favorite snacks, in the shared glances when their kids did something adorable. Then came Lily's 7th birthday party. Victoria insisted on something small, intimate, no event planners or ice sculptures or petting zoos, just a few friends in her penthouse apartment, balloons she'd blown up herself, and a homemade cake that was slightly lopsided but perfect. Ryan and Ben were there, of course. They'd become part of the family somehow, as natural as breathing. Lily stood in front of her cake, 7 candles flickering. Everyone sang. When the song ended, she closed her eyes tight to make her wish. Then she looked up at Ryan and Ben across the table and said it out loud instead of keeping it secret. I wish Ryan and Ben could be part of our family forever. The room went silent. Victoria's eyes met Ryan's across the table. Something passed between them. Understanding, recognition. The acknowledgement that this thing between them had grown into something neither could ignore anymore. That evening, after the guests left and the kids played video games in Lily's room, Victoria and Ryan stood on her penthouse balcony. The city stretched out before them, millions of lights in the darkness. That day in the park, Victoria said quietly, I was drowning, losing James, building his legacy, trying to be everything to everyone. I was so focused on not failing that I couldn't see I was already failing at what mattered most. She turned to face him. Lily, getting lost was my wake-up call. You were my wake-up call. Ryan looked at her, really looked at her. You've changed. I see it. You showed me what matters, Victoria said. Not the billions, not the empire, not the headlines or the board meetings, just being there, being present. She paused. You showed me how to live again. Ryan realized something then. You helped me too. I'd closed my heart after my wife died, locked it up tight, decided it was safer to just be a dad and nothing more. You reminded me that I could be more than my grief. They stood in silence, the weight of unspoken feelings hanging between them. Then Victoria reached out and took his hand. Ryan held on tight. They didn't kiss. Not yet. But they stood there, fingers intertwined, watching the city lights blur and sparkle, understanding that healing wasn't betrayal, that love could come again, different but real, that broken people could help each other become whole. 6 months later, the scene had shifted entirely. Victoria's penthouse was filled with laughter and chaos, not the pristine, sterile space it had been. Now there were toys in corners and children's drawings on the fridge. A family dinner was underway, but Victoria had cooked it herself. The pasta was slightly overcooked and the salad dressing was from a bottle, but it was perfect. Ryan helped set the table. Ben and Lily argued playfully over who got to sit where. Normal family chaos. Beautiful, messy, real. Lily and Ben called each other brother and sister now. It had happened naturally, so no announcement needed. They were family. Simple as that. After dinner, they played board games. Ben won at Monopoly through questionable rule interpretations. Lily accused him of cheating. Victoria laughed so hard she snorted. Ryan couldn't stop smiling. As the evening wound down and the kids reluctantly headed to bed, Victoria and Ryan stood in the kitchen doing dishes. Side by side. Comfortable. "I never thanked you properly," Victoria said, handing him a plate to dry. "Yes, you did," Ryan replied. "You let me back in." Back in, to the world, to the possibility of something more than just surviving. Ryan set down the dish towel and turned to face her. "You helped me heal as much as I helped you." Victoria stepped closer. "Then I think we're even." They kissed. Finally. It was soft and tentative and perfect. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. On the wall behind them hung a photo collage. Their journey captured in images. That first day at the park, awkward and uncertain. Weekly meetups with the kids, Lily's birthday party, holidays, small moments that had built into something extraordinary. At the center was a photo from the police station that Detective Martinez had taken without them knowing. Victoria on her knees, holding Lily. Ryan standing nearby with Ben pressed against his side. 4 people who'd found each other in the chaos. 4 people who'd become a family. If stories of second chances and unexpected love inspire you, subscribe to True Soul Narratives. We believe the best stories are the ones that remind us hope is real. Now here's the truth about that day in the park. He was a construction worker. She was a billionaire. On paper, they had nothing in common. Different worlds, different lives, different everything. But none of that mattered, and what mattered was showing up, being present, choosing love over fear, choosing connection over convenience. It started with a lost little girl crying in a park while strangers walked past. It started with one man who decided to stop, to care, to stay. It became a family built not on wealth or status, but on something priceless. Being there, showing up day after day, through grief and healing, through fear and hope. Sometimes the people we help end up saving us right back. Would you have stopped to help a lost child in that park? Have you ever had a chance encounter that completely changed your life? Maybe someone helped you when you needed it most. Or maybe you were the one who stopped when everyone else kept walking. Drop your story in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else, might remind them that kindness still exists, that hope is real, that sometimes all it takes is one person willing to care. This is True Soul Narratives, reminding you that the best things in life can't be bought. They can only be built. One moment, one choice, one act of kindness at a time.